The Hokkaido wolf, also known as the Izedō wolf and in Russia as the Sakhalin wolf, is an extinct subspecies of gray wolf that once inhabited coastal Northeast Asia. Its nearest relatives were the wolves of North America rather than Asia. It was exterminated in Hokkaido during the Meiji Restoration period, when American-style agricultural reforms incorporated the use of strychnine-laced baits to kill livestock predators. Some taxonomists believe that it still survives on Sakhalin Island. It was one of two subspecies that were once found in the Japanese archipelago, the other being the Japanese wolf. Taxonomy and origin. The Izedō wolf, or Hokkaido wolf, is an extinct subspecies of the gray wolf. In 1890, the skulls of Japanese wolves were compared with those of wolves from Hokkaido in the British Museum. The specimens were noticeably different and explained to be local varieties of the same subspecies. Later, explorers to the Kuril Islands of Europe and Kunaishia believed that the wolves they saw there were the Japanese subspecies. In 1889, the wolf became extinct on Hokkaido Island. In 1913, Hokkaidō Bureau proposed that the wolf might be related to the Siberian wolf but had no living specimens to undertake further analysis. In 1931, Kishida Kukishi described a skull from a wolf killed in 1881 and declared it to be a distinct subspecies. In 1935, Pocock examined one of the specimens in the British Museum that had been obtained in 1886 and named it Canis lupus rex because of its large size. Analysis of its mitochondrial DNA showed it to be identical with gray wolf specimens from Canada, Alaska and the USA, indicating that the ancestor of the Izedō wolf was genetically related to the ancestor of North American wolves. The coalescence time back to the most recent common ancestor for two Izedō wolf samples was estimated to be 3,100 years ago, and the Izedō wolf is estimated to have diverged from North American wolves 9,300 years ago. These estimates indicate that Izedō wolves colonized Japan more recently than Japanese wolves from the Asian continent during the last glacial period, via a land bridge with Sakhalin Island, which existed up to 10,000 years ago. The Tsugaru Strait was 3 kilometers wide during the last glacial period, which prevented Izedō wolves from colonizing Honshu, and they likely arrived in Japan less than 14,000 years ago. A more recent study estimates their arrival in Hokkaido less than 10,000 YBP. See further, Evolution of the wolf, North America and Japan range. Izedō is a Japanese word meaning foreigner and referred to the historical lands of the Ainu people to the north of Honshu, which the Japanese named Izedōkai. The Ainu were to be found on Hokkaido, Sakhalin, the Kuril Islands, and as far north as the Kamchatka Peninsula. The range of the Izedō wolf was the Hokkaido and Sakhalin Islands, Europe and Kunaishia Islands just to the east of Hokkaido in the Kuril Archipelago, and the Kamchatka Peninsula. It became extinct on Hokkaido Island in 1889. It was reported to be surviving in Sakhalin Island and perhaps the Kuril Islands in 1945. However, according to the Soviet zoologist Vladimir Hepner, it had not been seen on Sakhalin at the beginning of the 20th century, with vagrant specimens of Siberian forest wolf occasionally crossing into the island via the Nevelskoye Strait, though not permanently settling. Information on the animal's presence on the Kuril Islands is often contradictory or erroneous. It was tentatively recorded to inhabit Kunaishia, Europe and Paramushia, while wolves reported on Shumshu were later dismissed as feral dogs. A survey undertaken in the mid-1960s could not find a wolf on any of the Kuril Islands but did find many feral dogs. Description: A study of Hokkaidō wolf morphology showed that it was similar in size to the gray wolf of the Asian and North American continents. It stood 70 to 80 centimeters at the withers. Soviet zoologist Vladimir Heptner wrote that the wolves of Kamchatka are just as large as C.L. lupus, with light gray fur with dark guard hairs running along the back. The Hokkaido wolf is a formidable beast but not dangerous to man as long as other prey is to be had for the killing. During the winter months, at the time of which I am writing, they lived mostly upon deer, which were very plentiful. During the summer the diet was principally horse meat. A full-grown wolf weighs from 70 to 80 pounds. He has an enormous head and mouth armed with tremendous fangs and teeth. He is generally very lean but exceedingly muscular, of a gray color in summer and grayish-white in winter, when his fur is thick and long. His feet are remarkable for the size, 3 or 4 times larger than the feet of the largest dog, which they resemble in shape. Only the claws are much longer. The large feet enable them to travel rapidly over deep snow that soon tires a fleeing deer that could easily run away from his enemy when the ground is bare. They usually hunt singly or in couple, but frequently the trail of a pack of 4 or 5 or even more is seen in the snow. They are widely scattered throughout the island as a rule, but few in any one neighborhood. History. In Ainu culture, the Ainu revered the wolf as the deity Hokkaidō in recognition of the animal's similar hunting habits. Wolves were sacrificed in sending away Ayamante ceremonies, and some Ainu communities, such as those in Tokachi and Hidaka, held origin myths linking the birth of the Ainu to a coupling between a white wolf and a goddess. Ainu hunters would leave portions of the kills for wolves, and it was believed that hunters could share a wolf's kill if they politely cleared the throats in its presence. Because of the wolf's special status in Ainu culture, hunters were forbidden from killing wolves with poison arrows or firearms, and wasting the pelt and meat of a wolf was thought to provoke wolves into killing the hunter responsible. The Ainu did not differentiate wolves from the domestic dogs, and would strive to reproduce wolf traits in the dogs by allowing dogs in heat to roam freely in wolf-inhabited areas in order to produce hybrid offspring. Extinction on Hokkaido Island. With the onset of the Meiji Restoration in 1868, Emperor Meiji officially ended Japan's long-standing isolationism through the Charter Oath, and sought to modernize Japan's agriculture by replacing its dependence on rice farming with American-style ranching. Ohio rancher Edwin Dunn was hired as a scientific advisor in 1873 for the Kaitakushi, and began promoting ranching with state-run experimental farms, as wolf predation was inhibiting the propagation of horses in southeastern Hokkaido and allegedly causing hardship to Ainu deer hunters. The Meiji government declared wolves as noxious animals, entrusting Dunn to oversee the animals' extermination. Dunn began his work at the Nikapu Ranch with the mass poisoning campaign involving the use of strychnine-laced baits. This was supplemented by a bounty system established by the Kaitakushi.